Hello there folks, Bonkekook here, aka your Lonely Achievement God, continuing our Lawn Mowing Simulator challenge coverage with the third expert challenge, the Ripley Park Cafe area. This one can be a bit confusing. Make sure you're using your Pro View, which you do have in this one, to show off the portions of the lawn you need to cut, because you're not cutting the entire park. And there are segments of lawn that you don't need to go over and cut. So just make sure you know exactly where you need to head. This is a bit of a pain. I've done this a couple of times and I've forgotten things or missed things on every run. The great news is there is no time limit. You just have a fuel limit, which means we can abuse the string trimmer if we really need to. So you don't have to stress out about this one, but it is going to be a time-consuming challenge. The other thing you do have to stress out about is you only have the ability to destroy about 10 to 15 flowers, somewhere in there. And you have to avoid collisions. So I do recommend being more cautious when you are doing this. There's a picnic table area which can be difficult to get your mower into. We are using the best mower in the game, but it is also the widest mower in the game. So you do have to be cautious when driving it around obstacles you can collide with, because you can get penalized for that. You don't have to worry about grass clippings or anything like that. While the warning signs will pop up, you don't get penalized significantly for that. But generally, you're going to be wanting to use your string trimmer a lot. Make extra circles around objects so that you don't have to get close with your mower and risk running into things, and you don't have to be quick. I can't stress that enough. When you're edging near the flower beds where you may destroy flowers, don't rush. Take your time. You have plenty of time with the string trimmer. As far as I know, you can run the string trimmer infinitely. You could do the entire lawn with it. It might take you 7 hours, but you wouldn't have to worry about your fuel. I would love to see that, honestly. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to run you through all of the edging that you need to do and where you need to cut. So just try to follow along with me. This area can be a bit confusing. Grab your string trimmer. Everything to the left is basically what we need to cut. When you get to the other side there's a few lawns up near the playground we need to do as well. This is a very big area, so we're going to start real slowly over here. You can push some of the bushes out of the way, so feel free to do that. And we're actually going to make 2 passes over here, just to make sure we give ourselves enough room when we come through with the mower, because our mower is massive. We're going to run over this direction and do the same thing. Give ourselves a lot of wiggle room when we get near the flowers so that we don't run into them with our mower either. Just be careful over here. It does get a little dark and it can be difficult to see where everything is. But I cannot stress the whole being patient thing enough. You have no time limit here, so just take your time. Use the string trimmer to make things easier for you. Unless you're very impatient, there is no reason not to. Once we get over here, we're going to do the same thing. These are kind of bushes here, so you don't have to worry too much about getting close to them, but you do want to do the extra room up against the flowers here, just so you don't get too close. The bushes, you can get pretty close with the mower and not damage them. I'm not entirely sure if you even can damage the bushes, to be completely honest. But like here, it turns back into flowers, so do the little extra bit. So just make sure that you're not getting too close to the flowers, but give yourself, you know, a buffer so that once you start mowing, you're not in any danger of destroying the flowers with your mower. I love the mower, but it's massive, so it makes it difficult to get close to these flower beds and not cause damage. So I highly recommend taking advantage of the string trimmer and giving yourselves a wider berth, and taking advantage of the fact that it's not a timed challenge and you can afford to do this. We got that. We'll grab this flower bed here, and we're going to do 2 passes around the flower bed. Again, maybe I'm being overly cautious, but better to be overly cautious and not destroy any flowers than fail from killing a flower at the 45-minute mark and have to restart. You do have to be careful about overloading your weed eater. Sorry, I grew up with the term weed eater, so that's gonna slip out. But you don't have to worry about it too much. It doesn't cause any damage. It doesn't. All it really does is affect how much of the grass you're cutting. So. There we go. We've made our lap around. We're going to hop off over here because these 2 lawns need to be edged. So the other thing to keep in mind is if you do have sprint toggle, make sure before you try to use the string trimmer near flowers that you've toggled it off. You want slower movements over here. And in fact, over in this corner, I highly recommend just doing a little bit of that so you don't have to get close to the flowers there. So we got that. Again, be thorough. It really sucks if you get on your mower and drive across the garden and find a spot you didn't edge. And it's not worth trying to do this edge with the mower on this. So we're going to get the double section here. And then we'll work our way up here by the bushes. You don't have to worry about doing the double rows by the bushes again. Just near flowers. So like here we're going to start doing the doubles. And there we go. All of that's edged. We're going to head back toward that first lawn we started at. We got this flower bed. We got all the way around that. I think we got everything over here too. So we're going to head back over this direction because there's a lawn over here we need to cut. Just confirming that with the Pro View. And then make sure you take off the toggle. I recommend cutting in these edges a little bit. And when you're near flowers, try to do the double edges, of course. And in here, be very careful. Because of how dark it is, it can be hard to tell where, you know, the edge of the lawn is and where your weed eater is cutting. So I recommend being cautious, maybe changing the angle you're cutting from like I did there, so that you can see around the bushes here as well. And again, I like when we get to these corners to cut out away from the edges, just so you have enough room to turn around once you get your mower in there. So we're going to head back over to here. We're going to start with this little section here. And just like all of the other sections with flowers, be careful and try to cut more than one string trimmer's width away from the plants. As I said, this is a very long challenge, especially if you're following along with me and trying to be patient and careful. You're probably going to be looking at about 50 minutes, if not more. So If you want to try to do this without being quite as cautious as I am, you are obviously welcome to do so. And just like with the flowers, we're gonna do 2 runs around the trees here. Okay. Getting 2 of those done. We got that, so we're gonna work over to here. We got that all cut. We're gonna go over to here and work here. Just be very careful. That flower, I swear they put that one over there so that just to get you frustrated, because that sticks out into the grass, and I'm not entirely sure it's possible to get that grass cut without destroying that flower. So don't worry about that flower. That was a mean move by the devs. When we get to the trees, you can go into sprint mode and do my patented circles. Turn around. We're going to get this section. Again, just be careful, because there's a couple of flowers that are right on the edge. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room here. And then we have a flower bed to get here as well. And we're going to do a second pass just to be safe. With that done, we do have to get this entire section. If you didn't, just double check that you got that. We still have the picnic tables over here, so we're going to work on this right now. When it comes to the picnic tables, I recommend getting circles around them like I've been showing you, and then for the most part you can kind of leave the centers free, but I recommend doing all of the grass around the ones with garbage cans. Uh, you don't have to worry about, destroying any flowers here. You just need to make sure you have enough room to get your mower in and out. So that's why I recommend using the string trimmer in the sections where the mower might be hard to reach, like this little bit here. So try to edge as best as you can around these picnic tables, because trying to get your mower in and out can be very difficult. And then, as I said, we're just going to cut all of this grass right here. Do that. We're going to make sure we get this section. Again, be cautious by the flowers. Okay, that should be all of the picnic stuff edged. Just double check on that. We're going to head to this lawn back behind now. we are going to do a double row all the way around because of the bench. We don't want to hit that either. Once we get over here, be careful. Yeah, that's going to happen once or twice. Don't worry about it. Make sure you're giving yourself a wide berth around the bench and behind it so that you can kind of angle your mower here. Because of how big the mower is, some of these corners can be very difficult. With that done, we just have a few. We have one massive lawn here. Very similar to the other one we did with the trees earlier. And just like before, we'll do the circles around the trees. I mean, I know we're already at 25 minutes. This is a very long challenge. Again, be cautious over here. There is a bush there, but it's kind of difficult to see just how far behind the bush the grass needs to be cut. So when you get over by the bench, just like before, kind of cut a large area out so that you don't have to get close with the bench. Okay, that should be everything we need to cut. That lawn over there is not ours. Don't worry about little tiny bits and pieces of grass you might have missed, but I think everything is cut now. I know it took us about 30 minutes to do the weed eating. It's a pain, but it will save you a lot of headache. We killed 2 flowers, and you see how far down our penalties and fines went. It's not worth having to stress out about that. So, we'll start the mower. I'm going to go back into first person mode. We'll change the cut height 4 to 4.5. So we'll get to 440. Do not worry about the fuel limit. We have plenty of fuel. Oh, and then don't forget to lower your cutting deck. And don't be an idiot like me. And you do have to be a little cautious with this mower. We do still have the overload restriction of 95% engine damage. That can come in to get you, and this mower is very fast. So just tapping the accelerator can get you accelerating fast enough that you could run into a flower bed, which is why we were extremely cautious while we were using the string trimmer. Again, you can take your time. You don't have a time limit. It's only about fuel. We're going to take a little pit stop here and get these 2 lawns over here. This mower is massive, so you're going to be cutting a lot of the lawn at once, but you do have to be cautious with it. Be cautious of your overloads and be cautious of your acceleration, because you accelerate very quickly in this. And it can easily cause you some trouble, so... feel free to go into overhead view here. It'll make it a lot easier to maneuver around in between the picnic tables if you need to. You do have to be careful on these edge parts because the terrain is really bumpy. Um, some of the problems I had there a few seconds ago where the entire one side of my mower just decided to fall off a cliff, it felt like. So just be careful of that. And it looks like we missed this section, so I'm not going to bother trying to get too close to it. If we finish out cutting everything else and I still need percentage points, we'll run back with the string trimmer. But this is a miserable cut because there's just so many different portions that you're more than likely going to miss something. Well, I am jumping back in here, folks, because we are basically done. We're at the 99%. We just have this little bit on the other side to clean up. And we did have that little spot we missed that we didn't edge earlier that we may have to go back to, but we'll see. I think we do. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to go back and get our string trimmer and go back to that area we missed. Turn off your blades as you're going through just so you don't accidentally, cut some flowers. But even running into them is a bit of a problem. So let's go ahead and we'll pull up onto the ramp here. We'll grab our string trimmer. Feel free to also use the Pro View as you're running if you need to. And there we go. We got everything. I did notice this earlier. We actually missed quite a bit along this stretch as well. So, again, you don't have a time limit, so you can go grab and clean up anything you may have missed. This video isn't so much a guide to this, just showing it being completed, because you don't really have anything to worry about. We had plenty of fuel left. And so, as always, if you have any questions or comments for me, you can leave me a comment, send me a message. I'm always happy to do my best to answer them, but if not, I will see you guys next time.